Here comes Desiree again. Okay, so guys, about the fact that we don't have exercises 7 through 10 ready to assign, and we're near the end of the semester. So here's the idea. Exercises 7 through 10, which I will have to put something up here, we will make those the final exam. And it's basically going to be like a take-home final that will be due by the end of the class on Monday. And exercises, I need to add this. And you could probably even piecemeal them. So I'm going to add these in here. We got 7, 8, and 9 and 10, which I will have to edit these and get them to, actually I'll do this. We'll call it final exam. Final exam, oops. Final exam exercises 7 and 8. And I'll also have a final exam exercises 9 and 10. Okay, so we'll just actually, you know what we'll do? We'll edit this and just say 7 through 10. There's no need to have 2 of these, right? So on this, I'll have to upload an image of the 9 and 10 as well. So, and you can download them both. But there's this one, gosh, that's not difficult. We've already done this Snowflake. So you just basically are doing a transform and increasing it from the center out and recoloring it. So that one's not difficult. The steaming cocoa for many people would be maybe a little difficult. So I kind of want to walk you guys through that real quick, just to make sure you're aware of what to do there. So I'm going to run in through here. I've got this. And I already have Meredith stuff open. I opened it before class and had a meeting and couldn't do a lot. Let's see here. So let's talk about the complexity of exercise 8. And I do want to walk you through a couple of things here as far as what you would expect. The type is simply type on a path, and we haven't really talked much about that. Normally, you guys have had that already in a typography class or in a previous class, perhaps in using Illustrator. So to do type on a path, you would simply do a circle, get your type tool, there's a type on path tool, and you type in whatever word it is that you need to type in. Now this is a problem because I didn't click right on the circle. So I got to click right on that circle when it's path and I can click. So, so here's the word steaming. You can center that text, Shift Control C, Shift Command C. And then with the selection tool, you can then grab the center line and bring it up. Whoops, it does want to be fussy a little bit. That's the only thing I don't like about that tool is it does want to fuss with you. There we go. Now, in this case, I would copy and paste the circle. You can't get cocoa down here. So you want to go ahead and create another circle. It might end up even being a little bit smaller than the other circle. And now I'm going to get type on path and click on it. And we're going to type in, what was that, cocoa? So for this, a lot of people may not know how to do this. Now, this is centered. This needs to come in a bit. So there we go. It needs to drop down. So that's why I pulled that in using the selection tool on that line. I pulled it down to get into the circle. Now, here's what I typically do. I'll hit Control Y so I can see the larger circle for steaming. And now I will have to change the size of the font here in just a moment, but I'm going to increase the size of this circle so that cocoa lines up to the interior of the other circle. So I'm going to hold down Shift and then Alt or Option and get that to align to the outside circle. I guess I could have copied and pasted the circle, huh? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm doing the wrong thing. My apologies, guys. Let's pull this out. I'm sorry, guys. I got a little confused. Sometimes I do. That happens. Yeah, my brain. Well, that'll work. That'll work. Never mind. I'm just going to go with what I had. Oh, shoot. My apologies again. Shift Control Z. Sometimes my thinking gets a little wacky. Again, my apologies. I'll pull this down. There we go. And then increase the circle again. Sorry about that, guys. I had a momentary lapse of reason here. I just kind of want to have that baseline resting on this. Now, it does need to be the same size as steaming. So I'm going to go back to steaming, select it, hit Control T, and whatever type size I'm using here, I want to use down here on Cocoa. So that's going to get fixed there. So these two feel as if they're going around the same circle, but when I hit Control Y, they're on two different circles actually. Okay, of course it'd be a different font and all that, but it has to be two separate circles for this to work. Now on the cup itself, I've gone over this once before, but I'm going to go over it real quick again. This is simply a shape that would be half of the mug of this the cocoa mug, and inside and outside of the shape. Okay, just to, I'd be a little bit nicer than this, maybe curve that up there. But this is just simply half of the mug shape minus the handle. And this is a 3D thing. It's okay if it turns up, we're not going to see it anyway. And we would definitely want this to be curved up here. So we're going to fix that. And this is simply a three-dimensional, we'll fill it with the right color, some sort of blue or something. This is a 3D revolve and rotation and stuff. Now, I will let you know that the steam and the actual bits of the liquid, which looks like got moved, this liquid and the steam, these are separate paths that are drawn. Okay, so this is not part of the 3D. So these are all separate things. The steam itself is just a path that's drawn, filled with white. Then a transparency or opacity is applied to it. And so is the effect of stylize and feather. That's how it gets that soft look. Okay, you should be able to figure that out. But just in case, I wanted to make sure you knew. As far as the cocoa mug shape, you would go to Effect in 3D and you would revolve that. And in this case, I'm going to have to revolve it from the left because I drew the left side. So, oh, this is 2022. Gosh darn it. Let me go here. There's a classic on the 3D. Let's see here. I don't remember where to go. Like this is the new 2022, which is fine if you've got it, but if you don't, that's a problem. So there is, let's go to here. Hold on, I'm going to close this out. We're going to go to Control Z because I don't want to 3D that. Let's go to Effect and 3D. Here's 3D Classic. So if you don't have 2022, you can go to 3D Classic and do the old way, and we'll do the revolve this way because some of you guys don't have 2022 yet. And you tried, but it messed your computer up. So this will need to go from the right edge instead of the left. And there's the mug. And then you can just rotate it however you need to rotate it to have it appear as if it's coming at you. As far as the handle goes, the handle is a separate object, and the handle would be just simply a oval shape that or even a circle that is also 3D'd, but it would be, I'm gonna go again to the classic. It would also be revolve, I think. And we would just pull that offset out quite a bit. Whoa, not so much like that. Rotate it, it may need to be a circle versus a oval. Circle will probably work out better. So I'm gonna just put in like 12 in here and see what happens. And you can rotate that until you get it to the point where it feels like a handle. And then you basically make it look like it's applied to it. I'm gonna go 10 on this. So it's all about the offset. And then on the angle degree, you can change this to open that up. if you need to. So if you only need, half of that, so let's do 180, it'll give us half of that handle. So you can change it. Now, if you're sending it to the back, it won't matter. But sometimes I don't send it to the back, and I need to have a partial. So this is what we do here is we do 190. We build the handle using an angle to just take a portion of it out. And then we angle this so that it's similar to the angle of the mug. And then I'll hit OK. And then what we do is to make it look like it's applied to the mug. And again, I may have to go in and angle that a little differently. We can just click and drag it to the mug. Some people even just send it to the back. So if we just go to Object, Arrange, and Send to Back, then it feels like it's part of the piece. It is a little large, but you get the idea. Okay, so you do have the opportunity to create a three-dimensional object on this, but it's not extremely complex. On the other two exercises, which again, I need to post the preview images for those, I will tell you, this tile back here is a pattern fill. So I want you guys to create a pattern fill for that tile. It shouldn't be separate objects. So this is my pattern fill. Drag it over so you know what you're doing here. So this is actually something I created a pattern out of. So it not only has the tile, it also has the grout, the little gray bits, and some reflections. So do not copy and paste over and over again. This is actually a pattern. As far as the cheese goes, I imagine you guys can manage the cheese. I did three-dimensional this piece of cheese a little bit. Just drew it, cut out the holes, and then popped a 3D on it. As far as how it looks glowing, that's this kind of glow effect. I did apply a gradient on this. This is a radial gradient. You can see it right here, just a regular radial. And it also has an outer glow on it. So if you go to your effects and you go to stylize, it's got a slight outer glow. I can even go to appearances and show you what's going on here. So you guys should be able to master those. And here's my outer glow. So if I double click on it, numbers, but those have outer glows just to kind of give them a little bit of dimension. And then the cheese itself, excuse me, is just a couple of shapes that, have those little floaty circles on top of them that indicate holes. Okay, with this has a gradient on it. So not too difficult, right? And then finally, your little gingerbread man has a pattern in the background, which we've already used that pattern before, so this is not a problem. And then the plate is just simply a bunch of, it's just a couple of circles that have gradients that are opposing each other. So one gradient goes dark to light from lower to upper, and then the other side of the plate goes another direction. It gives that dimension, and they both have strokes on them. As far as a gingerbread man, these are made with basic shapes. He does need to be perfectly mirrored. In other words, his left side needs to be exactly like his right side. So this needs to be perfect geometry. So really, really work hard at that. Using this simple shapes, a circle for his head, rounded rectangles for parts of the body that are merged and modified. If you want to draw the circle and half of his body first and then mirror it, that would be really smart. So the circle, I would not bother doing half, but this from his arms down to his feet, I would draw that in a half and then copy and paste it, mirror it, and then merge them together. I may have to modify, a couple of anchor points here in the center and merge the head to the body. So this is not real serious super science either. It's just as a matter of you being accurate and knowing which tools to use to make it really efficient. And of course, if we zoom in, you can see there are gradients on these details just to kind of give it a sense of depth. And that way, when you zoom out and you look at the thing kind of in its whole, the gestalt, oops, it does have a kind of a sense of depth to the icing just a little bit. Same thing with these iced pieces here. that's kind of a to fool the eye sort of thing. When you put a lighter color of the red over a darker color of red, it kind of makes it feel as if it's got a little bit of dimension without going too crazy on dimension. Okay, so I want you guys to finish exercises 7, 8, 9, and 10. And actually, I'm not even going to count that as the final exam, but I want you guys to do it. We'll just do it instead of a final exam, because I really want to just include it in just the I don't want it to be like a super huge percentage of your grade. So we'll just continue these and just replace a final exam with exercises. Okay. Hopefully that will work for you guys. And if you have any questions about that, of course, you could reach out. And we did have exercises 5 and 6 due today. So hopefully you got those done. If not, you can get them done. It's just going to be considered late. Any questions about exercises? Okay. So instead of final exam, we'll just continue these exercises. That's what I'll do instead of labeling as final exam. So I'll stop recording on that.